going to have the first talk, so I can introduce you to EUINCOOP, but I guess it got reshuffled. Anyway, EUINCOOP is an EU project started almost 2 years ago, and it's about fostering collaboration between Europe and India in the area of computing systems. We have a balanced consortium, so 3 members from Europe, 3 members from India, and I've never actually worked with Indian institutions before, and it's a very interesting and educational experience, and I've actually learned a lot. And I'd like to thank Satya for actually snowballing this into this project, because it was very beneficial to me personally, but hopefully also the project is going to be good for the community. So anyway, very briefly, the objectives of this project is to stimulate cooperation in computing systems, technologies, in the 2 regions, EU and India. And this obviously to support the EU in its goals to do stuff in computing systems, but not secondly in terms of importance, but another goal is for both regions to benefit from this and bring the 2 regions together. So we take a very systematic approach on how to do this, and very specific steps. So the first step is to bring together researchers and stakeholders in the area of computing systems, and get them talking, get them discussing things, and have these structured workshops where we can exchange ideas and talk about stuff. And the second step is to go into what's been published in terms of roadmaps in both regions, and try to analyze them, see what each region thinks about, what are the priorities, and see where they converge, where they diverge, where they overlap, and analyze this and say, here's what India thinks is important, here's what Europe thinks is important. Can we work together on this? Hopefully, at the end of the project, we'll have sort of triggered more collaboration between research groups here in India and over there in Europe, and trigger future projects, hopefully. And even right now, we have submitted another proposal for collaboration between Indian institutions and EU institutions, and we're waiting to hear. And for the policymakers, I mean, what they're interested in, and what the Commission has told us, is that they want to formalize a more detailed and structured way of collaborations with India. The Commission, the EU, has these tries to collaborate with research agencies from other regions. They do that with Japan. They do that with Brazil and other places. They want to do that with India as well. So, in more detail, what are the actual steps we take? First of all, we start by an analysis of the computing systems research in both areas, in both regions. Secondly, we want to create some sort of preliminary roadmap for what's going on in these 2 regions. To do this, we need to identify key players. So who are the people that are doing the research? Who are the people that are funding the research? What are the processes they follow? I mean, the EU has a fairly good idea what they're doing, but they don't really have a good idea of how things are going on in India. And for the first year of the project, we actually spent a lot of time trying to put together a document that explains what the procedures are in India. Catalog of key actors and what their competencies are. These common events, brokerage events between experts, and publicity in general. So try to disseminate the results of the project. Not important. So this basically covered the project. Just to give you an idea, and this is because I know I'm standing between you and food, so I don't want to do that, but to just give you an idea, what we did is we started by going into the Indian roadmaps and see what is being funded by government, industry, what are the priorities, the 5-year plan, and so on and so forth, and taking a list of the EU roadmaps. So what HiPeak is doing, Planet HPC, Artemis and Nessie, and we try to structure this, understand it, combine it, structure it. So typically a roadmap has some sort of motivation, some technologies that it looks at, actions that are proposed, and a description of what the process was for this roadmap to be created. And following this structured model, we sort of drill down deeper and deeper into each roadmap and try to sort of place it on this space. So for motivation, for example, typically you start with the technology. If you're a techie like me, you start from the technology. If you're at the policy level, you start probably at the society and the government, and you have this encapsulation. And the first thing we did was try to find out where do the various roadmaps fit into this space. And from by doing the analyses, Artemis and Nessie are more general. They focus on the society. The Indian roadmaps are at the government level. Planet USPC is more business, and HiPeak focus on the technology aspects. So that's one way to sort of categorize the roadmap. So it forms a guideline of how we understand things and how we study things. Now we can drill. The work we did, we drill deeper into this. So we can look at the motivation of specific things. So for the motivation, for example, we went into each and every roadmap, and we found the key phrases in the roadmap. I mean, these are big documents, so you have to do a fair amount of work to get these items. But we categorize them in easy to read tables. So if someone is interested, okay, what was the motivation for this roadmap? And how does this compare with the European roadmaps? Well, you can go in this table and read it and find out how things compare. And as I said, you can drill even deeper. So for motivation, we also have challenges or needs. But I mean, the roadmaps specify needs and challenges. And for each such category, again, we put it neatly in a table. So if someone was in a hurry to find out what are the main challenges identified, they can go in the table and say, okay, here's what India thinks, here's what HiPeak thinks, here's what Nessie thinks. We are also interested in mapping because, I mean, the whole point of the analysis is to map things from one roadmap to the other and see where things match or don't match. So, for example, this is challenges, right? So for India, it was strengthening innovation and product design. So how does this map to the other roadmaps? This is obviously our analysis. I mean, the data is raw data that we got from the roadmaps, but part of the analysis is how we interpret it. So this is our feeling how these map. So this statement sort of maps to design efficiency or high value or competitiveness, because we're talking about business. That's how Artemis interprets this, and Nessie interprets it as fast business cycles. And to make it easier for the reader, we also have graphics like these, where you can easily say, okay, here's a challenge, and here's how it maps to the EU side. And obviously, we have other examples, and you can find these in our documents. I don't want to go over all this. It's not important for this presentation. But the goal was to structure it and present our analysis. If someone wants to do a different analysis, the data is there structured, so you can interpret it as you see fit. I'm going to jump all this stuff because I don't want to go into details. I just want to state this slide. Here's our website. You can find all our documents there. Please visit. Tell your friends. Read our documents. If you have comments, tell us. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And if you have any questions, just feel free to contact me. I'm happy to receive your mail and try to answer it the best I can. So I hope I didn't take too much time. Okay. Yeah, less than 10 minutes.
Right. Just to say, all what you presented, the graphics are all available in the public document on the website. That is delivered on D3.1. But now we are discussion. I'll present some of those issues what we have identified in the afternoon. Then we can discuss with the managers.
So we break for lunch now, and then after lunch we come back and resume the session.
Lock the room, or
Yeah, I will lock the room, so I'll be the last person to leave. So I don't know who is here to take you.